Team Fortress 2 is subjectively a very fun game, and I say this with all of my heart and soul. TF2 is the greatest game of all time. Not even just in the FPS genre, the absolute peak of gaming is TF2. Yes, it's not exactly perfect, especially with the whole fixed TF2 thing, but it's kind of simmered down since Valve started attending to their child that's locked in a hot car of a game, so at least it's playable now. And I actually didn't always believe TF2 was the GOAT of games. In fact, it took me years and years of experiencing and month-long breaks to realize that I can really have fun playing the game. So, here's how I've learned to enjoy playing the game. TF2, unlike most multiplayer shooter games, emphasizes the experiencing of good times. Compared to other multiplayer shooters, the community doesn't really take the game too seriously. CS2 doesn't really make itself very silly, being a strategy-based shooter. When was the last time you've seen somebody happy to play CS2 anyways? The Valorant community tries to be silly, but the company doesn't make it too silly. And but like I've said, TF2 on the other hand emphasizes silly moments. In what other game can you press a button to self-destruct right in front of the enemy and make it a funny moment? And even the developers know that it's a silly game made for silly experiences. They've added group taunts, moving taunts, like vehicles, signs that have custom images on them. Maybe that's a bad thing, but and hats that are objectively worse to have on than to not have on. Remember that time you saw a circle of people doing a group taunt? Could be red, could be blue, either team. The game technically lets you blow everybody up, painting the room red, committing another genocide. But it also lets you press G and join the circle to enjoy the experience. It's these experiences that make TF2 so successful. TF2 was one of the games that I really want to experience for the first time again. I want to learn that Spy can one-hit kill if you melee somebody from behind, or that Pyro can redirect projectiles, or that struggle to keep all my buildings in check as an engineer. This shows that there are a lot of things to learn in TF2. There's a mountain of weapons that all do different things, have their own mechanics, and it seems really intimidating on paper to beginners, but once they get the hang of it, most of them keep the basics of how to play their respective class anyways. Also, dying. Doesn't feel good, doesn't it? Then make it feel better by thinking of it differently. Theoretically, you could win any encounter against an enemy. It's when you die that you realize that you probably shouldn't have taken some fights. So learning from the hundreds of deaths you've gone through really helps you determine success in certain situations. Now, I'll give you 3 examples and see if you can determine if I win these 1v1s. Got your answers? Yeah, that's right.
I won all 3 of them.
When was the last time you've lost a casual game? Pretty recently, right? It's probably because you joined in late, you couldn't do anything to stop the other team, but that doesn't really count. When was the last time you've really lost a casual game? What did you lose from that game? Nothing, right? Maybe just a tiny bit of your dignity and like a little pinch of your ego, but that's about it, right? You don't lose XP, any items, or literally anything. You just lost that game. Maybe the enemy team sweat through the match a bit too hard, but like the title of this chapter said, is it really that serious though? You could go ahead and rage, maybe break something, and I've done that maybe a little more than enough times. Or you could just, play a different game if you're really sick of it, or forget about that loss, hoping for a victory in the next game instead. What I'm saying is, don't take those negative experiences too seriously. Yes, the audience boos you for losing, but that's all for show. Losing the game doesn't mean you failed. You could have done amazing on a match of high tower or something, still lose because of the enemy team, or maybe even your own team. In conclusion, go have fun. If it's a bit too much, take a break. I've said this before, but it's really worked for me. I sometimes grow tired of the game, but now I'm currently streaming TF2 every day for a month. Please follow me, I swear I'm entertained, so go watch. I'll probably be live around these times, but that isn't really guaranteed. Say hi, ask questions, be respectful. Alright, I'll see you next video. I don't have a proper outro, but you get the point.